Starship is starting entry. Good attitude for entry.
Welcome back once again to Starship Flight 13, the second test flight of Starship version 3. As you can see by these pretty cool views on your screen, the ship is currently re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Now, we probably have some first-time viewers tuning in today, so let's talk about this phase.
Right, so re-entry, it's a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship's systems perform. So re-entry, you can see that speed in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We have to scrub all of that speed down so that way we can safely land. It's a lot of energy to be able to scrub down, and it's all the energy that we just used to launch the rocket as well. So Starlink will also help us gather as much data as possible, which is really the main reason why we do these flight tests, is to see how the ship performs in space and evaluate how it works. Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data to help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
Yeah, exactly. And if the ship manages to again make it all the way through re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere, and it's doing so at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or about 5 miles per second. So at those speeds, the spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere so fast that it creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. Starship is designed to land on Mars, where there are no runways or other humans to help out, which is exactly why we're testing this landing procedure that we're doing today. And we're doing these propulsive landings instead of more traditional means like parachutes, because
Flaps have taken
landing,
control of the vehicle.
You heard that call out, flaps do have control of the vehicle. You can actually see one view, your screen moving around. That's actually a camera affixed to the flap. So as I was saying, we're testing these, doing these landings instead of more traditional means, so that way propulsive landing, we can enable more rapid reusability.
Yeah. Now, we did just hear that call out. We should continue to hear some call outs as the ship makes its way back to Earth. Now, when we hear something called entry max heating, as well as entry max Q, that means that the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads that it experiences as it returns. So, safe to say that if it makes it through those specific points, we're doing pretty well.
That's right. So we'll continue to hear multiple call-outs as we go through this phase. One of those call-outs will be that the ship is transonic. We'll also hear another one when it's subsonic. Transonic will be referring to the period of flight where velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, so somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. For reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly at roughly Mach 0.74, 0.85. Just for reference, that's between 480 miles per hour to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers an hour. And subsonic, another call out that you'll hear later on in the stream, subsonic will refer to speeds that are much less than the speed of sound. So at this point in flight, the ship's velocity will be slowing down drastically. So with re-entry well underway, we'll take another break. and return just before the ship's landing burn, targeted for T plus 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Starship is leaving the peak heating phase of entry. External temperatures are coming down. Starship is at maximum entry dynamic pressure. Starship is executing the swoosh maneuver. Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Welcome back one last time to Starship Flight 13, the second flight of Starship version 3. As you can see on your screen with crisp views from Starlink, the ship is currently re-entering the Earth's atmosphere over the Indian Ocean. And really for the last several minutes, we had some amazing Technicolor views. It really looked like it was made out of starlight. Now, we did hear on the nets just moments ago that we made it through max heating and max dynamic pressure, meaning that the vehicle temperature and speeds and pressure are all coming down, and we can see that in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen as that speed continues to decelerate. We're coming up to the ship landing burn. One of pretty much everybody's favorite part of Starship test flight days, and that's going to be coming up here in just about a minute or so.
Yeah, just about a minute away. We're going to try and light all 3 Raptor sea level engines for this burn. We'll light 3, do the flip. We'll eventually go down to 2 as we get close down to the water, down mode to a final 1 engine before we hopefully execute a nice soft splashdown. We'll see if we've got our buoys and drones in range with the recovery team. They're going to be standing by to try and get some additional views of Starship's heat shield, which from kind of our initial looks, it did pretty well on the flight uphill, but we'll continue to dig through all the visual data as we get it. We didn't do any real stress tests or anything on this flight. We did do, you heard our landing Large flight controller call out. We were doing the swoosh maneuver. This is kind of the final maneuver that we plan to have Starships returning to Starbase do. That will essentially hook them out over the Gulf before coming in and over Tower 2. But about 10 seconds away, look for 3 Raptors, the 3 in the middle, to light up, do a flip. Let's see if we can get this thing in the water. did our flip down to 2. Starship descending into the Indian Ocean, down to 1. And we're in the water. And it's a soft splashdown in the water. That is a first. That is the softest splashdown we have ever had with the Starship there in the Indian Ocean.
It's bound to be an exciting day for our recovery team. I mean, that huge milestone to even get to soft splashdown, much less have the vehicle stay afloat.
Yeah, the teams are super hyped here. Got some crowd here at Starbase Texas. Everyone's super excited. We never really get to see Starship floating so serenely in the Indian Ocean, so we're certainly enjoying these extended views. Like I said, we're really pumped about this. I want to check in with Tyler. Tyler, how is Hawthorne feeling about Lucky Flight 13?
Hey, Kate, we are so excited about another successful Starship test flight and those gorgeous Starlink views that we had. And we can also confirm that we managed to make contact with all 20 of those V3 sats. So it's a massive day for us. So congratulations to everyone at the team at Starbase, for Starlink, everyone here and around the company who've contributed to the Starship program as we make progress again towards a multi-planetary future. So thank you everyone for tuning in. That's a goodbye from Hawthorne, and back to you guys at Starbase.
Thanks so much, Tyler. Now, for anyone who perhaps missed the action, I suggest that you rewind the clock. Wow, look at that view of the Starship heat shield tiles. You can really see how the atmospheric re-entry, how it disperses the heat around the edge of the vehicle. I don't think we've seen quite that close before.
Never. And honestly, however short-lived that ship standing, bobbing in the water is, that is insane data for our team. It's unbelievable that we were able to keep that ship afloat. Now, we promised maximum excitement, and Starship V3 delivered. Congratulations to all of our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support.
Yeah, as you could tell, the crowd really enjoyed that Nemo cam for a moment. We'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the Government of Mexico.
The amazing views do not end, so be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and more of these exciting shots that we didn't get to feature on today's broadcast.
And to get an inside real-time look at the teams bringing this incredible rocket to life, check out the latest episode of our documentary series, Starship. And of course, thanks to all of you for tuning in. And we're going to head back up to Dan for some additional thoughts.
Yeah, I'm losing my mind right now. We are still getting views from on board the ship with it in the water. Like, we had tried in the past to do these splashdowns as softly as possible. We experimented with rolls. This is the first time we've put an intact Starship in the water. This is a dream scenario for the team that's trying to get this heat shield data. Normally you're working with a slightly charred Starship in the water, and now we have one intact. So the recovery team is moving in with their drones, and we are still getting views from Starship. It is sending these via Starlink from the other side of the world while it is floating in the water after flying through space. Like, this is just completely surreal right now. This is just a mountain of data that we're going to get back. This is going to be so critical for refining the heat shield, everything else. And the really good news is all of these views that we're seeing, you're looking at a pretty intact looking heat shield, which, as a reminder, we were flying at a significantly higher dynamic pressure, so putting way more stress on this vehicle on the way uphill. And it's sitting there in the water, and I mean, look at it. So I'm a little bit over the moon on this. I know a lot of our team is just fascinated in the control room behind me. I mean, everybody is psyched. Everyone's gathered around their computers looking at these close-ups that we're getting of these heat shield tiles. 18,000 of them. I mean, you can probably count the ones that are missing right now on one hand. Like, this is just absolutely incredible. And the fact that, like, the cameras on board the ship are still sending back video is just a little bit surreal. So, wow. Lucky number 13. Hell of a flight for Starship. Get it all the way there in the water. Really great day for version 3. So, whew. All right. As Kate and Nate said, we're going to keep releasing more of this. Stay tuned. We've got some really cool stuff from some of the onboards that we caught. So keep following us on X at SpaceX. Whole bunch more cool imagery from launch, from the flight that's going to be coming out soon. Yeah, let's just close on that. I mean, look at Starship in the Indian Ocean. That's fantastic. We'll see you all back here for the next flight test of Starship version 3. With that, we'll say goodbye.